What if you bought Bitcoin in 2007? Back then, hardly anyone knew what it was. Bitcoin wasn't on the news, it wasn't on the stock market, and most people would laugh if you even mentioned digital coins. Imagine yourself sitting at a computer in 2007, scrolling forums where a few programmers were talking about this strange idea of decentralized money. One Bitcoin was worth practically nothing, fractions of a cent. For the price of a single dollar, you could have bought thousands of coins. Most people ignored it, but let's say you didn't. Let's say you took the risk and bought just $100 worth. That would give you more than 10,000 Bitcoins. At the time, it wouldn't feel like anything important. You might even forget about it for a while, your coins sitting quietly in a digital wallet no one cared about. Fast forward to 2010, when Bitcoin first reached 10 cents. People began to take notice, but it was still a curiosity, not a revolution. If you still held your coins, your $100 gamble was now worth $1,000. By 2011, when Bitcoin hit $1, those same coins would be worth over $10,000. Suddenly, what once felt like a joke started to feel very real. Some people would have sold at this point, thinking they made the deal of their life. But imagine you decided to hold on. By 2013, Bitcoin had crossed $100. Your small investment was now worth over $1 million. The world began to pay attention. Banks, governments, investors. The word cryptocurrency entered the mainstream. If you were holding Bitcoin, you were no longer an early adopter. You were a millionaire, maybe even thinking about quitting your job, buying houses, or traveling the world. But what if you still didn't sell? 2017 arrives. Bitcoin hits $20,000. Suddenly, your $100 investment from 2007 is worth more than $200 million. Think about that. $200 million from a $100 risk. That is the kind of leap that sounds impossible, like winning the lottery, except it was real. At this point, most people would have cashed out. But if you were patient, if you held through the crashes and recoveries, through all the ups and downs, the story doesn't stop there. By 2021, Bitcoin peaked near $69,000. Your $100 investment from 2007 would now be worth nearly $700 million. You would be one of the richest people on the planet, all because you took a small risk when no one else believed. But it's not just about the money. Imagine how different your life would feel. Every decision you made, where to live, how to spend your time, what dreams to chase, would change because you had the power of unimaginable wealth. Of course, there's another side to this story. With great fortune comes great pressure. Billionaires don't live normal lives. You might worry about security, about hackers trying to steal your fortune, or about governments wanting to tax or control your wealth. You might question who your real friends are, or wonder what your life would have been like without this incredible twist of fate. Money can solve many problems, but it can also create new ones you never imagined. So, what if you bought Bitcoin in 2007? You could have been unimaginably rich today. But it also raises a bigger question. If you had that chance, would you actually have held on through all the fear, doubt, and temptation to sell? Most people would not. That's why Bitcoin's history is not just about technology or money. It's about human patience, belief, and the courage to take risks. And maybe the real lesson is not simply what if, but what now? Because every generation has opportunities that look small and strange at first, but might one day change everything.